Welcome back to the Journey to the FarLands. All right, that's right, I have not forgotten exactly why it is that it's been since May, since it, I haven't had an episode since May. I couldn't begin to tell you. But anyway, here we are. Bust out of here. Make sure there's no nasty things about. Close the place up. And now I'm going to stop over here and throw some extra stuff that I don't need away, which is, that'll do for now. Alright, now, let's see. The direction to go is that way, to the west, onwards, to the FarLands. That's right, journeying onwards, heading westward, walking to the FarLands in Minecraft Beta 1.7.3, using that very old classic version of Minecraft because that is the last version in which the FarLands actually exist. And yeah, like I said, I'm not really sure why it's been so long since the last episode. It just, I looked and was completely surprised at how long it had been, and so, yeah, here we are, back at it. Walking onwards. And walking up onto island cliffs when I really didn't need to. But, oh well, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I have beds, I have boats. So we're good to go here. Traveling onwards. And so basically this is a unplanned hiatus coming to a close. That's about the best I can say. Alright, let's do something here with a boat. And we move onwards. With the old classic boats that, to steer them, you just point where you want to go, and they steer. And not only that, well, I can turn clear backwards in these. In the new ones, you can't turn more than just about this, and that's terrible. Yeah. I like the old style boat controls and so on. Yes, the boats were a lot more fragile, but at least you could steer them. There's a lot to be said for that. Yeah. So we're traveling onwards here. I've already said that 6 or 7 times, haven't I? Yeah. Oh well. Let's see. I do still have my epic long question list, and as a matter of fact, I even continue to add to it occasionally when I spot a good question in the comments of a video. So, am I going to be able to go around here, or maybe? Let's see. All right, get past this one way or the other. And of course I can't pick up boats in this version, so I'm just going to leave it there. As a matter of fact, yeah. There we go. Okay, so, like I said, I still have that big file with boatloads of questions on there, so let's just dig right into one. Let's see, from Perfect Alibi, the question is, would you replace your busted arm with a robot arm if the robot arm had an identical functionality plus extra features? The, quote, extra features, unquote, are up to your discretion, or you can just leave them out entirely, whatever. Okay, So would I do something like that? Basically, this is something like an old TV show from the 1970s, The $6 Million Man with Steve Austin. Or, excuse me, Lee Majors playing the character of Steve Austin. A Air Force pilot, whatever, test pilot. Messed up bad in an accident, a crash. Ended up having both his legs, one arm, and one eye replaced with bionic replacements, which is why they called him the $6 Million Man, because in the late 1970s, $6 million was a heck of a lot of money. These days, it would probably be like a $6 billion man or something like that. But yeah, it would be interesting. It depends on what the technology was. You know, if the technology was sufficiently advanced over and above what we actually have available now, I would give it serious consideration. Especially if the replacement had features like, you know, superhuman strength or something like that, which really wouldn't be that big of a difficulty, I would think. You know, a mechanical arm of some form being way stronger than a natural one. And especially if the science involved was advanced enough that it could include an actual working sense of touch and be able to sense things like temperature changes and wind and stuff like that to make it function literally like a real one, then, you know, give them something like that. I'd give it very serious consideration, I'll say that. Because, yeah, you know, I've been walking around with this mangled, broken thing hanging off of me for a long time. And, yeah, it would be nice for it to basically be restored or replaced or whatever. It would basically put in a condition that would be like it was before it was broken. Which means lots more reach and whatnot. You know, there's things that I can't do now that I used to be able to. Like, for example, something simple. Changing a light bulb. A light bulb in a ceiling light. Now, I recently had this problem. A light bulb in a ceiling light burned out. And it's not a difficult thing to change. You know, there's, it's got a glass shade on it. And then there is 3 set screws that you have to loosen up to let the shade down. And you have to hold the thing with one hand while you loosen the set screws to keep it from crashing into the floor and shattering, and so on. But in order to do this, you have to be able to reach the ceiling with both hands, so that you can have one hand to hold the shade in place and the other hand to work the set screws and stuff. I eventually ended up having to have someone do it for me. Because, you know, I tried standing on a chair. I tried standing on like a pile of boxes and such. And standing on stuff, you know what that got me? That got me falling flat on my butt and darn near breaking my backside to go with my arm. So I left it without changing it for months until I had an opportunity to ask someone to do it for me. Because I can't reach there like I should or like I used to. And it's irritating at least. Okay, end of day 1 is upon us. And I'm just gonna do this. And that. Pop one of those down here. Flip around. Drop a bed. And sleep. Because, yeah, mobs in Minecraft are no fun, especially when you're walking to the FarLands. So, anyway, yeah, I would think about something like that. It would depend on the technology and how reliable it would be and how much maintenance it would need and stuff like that. You know, so it would be something to seriously consider. And it would be very tempting. And turning it down would be very difficult to do. So it would be a real, very real possibility. Okay, let's see here. The next item on the question list. Jeremy Pitchell, what did you do before you retired? Also, how long were you married? Never heard much about you and much background about your wife. Well, let's see. What did I do before I retired? I didn't have any kind of a spectacular career in anything. As a matter of fact, most of my jobs over the years consisted of working in fast food places and pizza delivery, or working in pizza places, even if I wasn't delivering. And yeah, so not exactly your high standard job or anything like that. No epic career or epic wages or anything like that. Just living on the bottom rung, so to speak. And there were good days with it, and there were bad days with it, and it was mostly just a lot of the same. You know? Because after a while it just becomes, let's just get this thing delivered so that we can grab the next one and deliver it. Or make this one and then make the next one and whatever, you know. So, yeah. On the other hand, let's see. Well, the last job that I did have was better. And as a matter of fact, it was the best paid job I had ever had. And it was one that I liked the most. Because for that job, I learned how, and then did for quite some time, for several years. I was programming a computer-controlled cutting machine to cut metal parts, small metal parts, out with precision. You know, we're talking with tolerances to 1/1000th of an inch and stuff like that. And that was kind of cool, because you'd get the plan for the thing, for the part, and then you have to program the machine to move the cutting head in the right pattern, shape, and dimensions to create the part that you're making. And that was cool. And I started that job, I was making, I believe it was about $6.50 an hour, $6.50, which in those days was really good. in the late 1990s. Well, mid-90s. And then when the job finally came to an end, I believe it was around 98, that, well, the owner of the shop decided to move the shop, and a 50-mile drive one way for a commute was just too much. So I couldn't go with, I couldn't stay with the job even after it moved, because it was just too much of a commute. That would have meant an hour and a half to 2 hours a day driving just to get back and forth. And that was too much. So it was pretty good, though. When I when the job finally ended, my wages had gone up to like, I believe it was about 10 and a quarter. Which, again, that was pretty doggone good. It was the best I had ever earned. And I liked the job. I really wished that it hadn't moved, that I could conceivably still be doing it. But, yeah. It was a good job. I didn't have to do a whole lot of lifting and carrying. It was the first job that I had that was something that you couldn't train a chimpanzee to do. I mean, I've had, most of the jobs I've had have been the kind of thing that you could train a chimpanzee to do it, because it's really doesn't take a whole lot of brains to, like, travel from point A to point B and give somebody something, or to follow directions on an order sheet to make a certain kind of pizza or something, or to grab such and such kind of burger or whatever, It doesn't take a whole lot of brains to do that sort of thing. And this job was one that you actually had to be able to think, because you had to be able to translate a blueprint into a program to make what that blueprint was for. And that was great. But all good things and all that, yeah. Anyway, let's see. How long was I married? Never heard much background about my wife. Well, that's because I generally don't talk about my wife very much. And that's my choice. How long was I married? We got married in October 95. And that condition remained until she died in December of 2008. And, what can I say? I don't really have a whole lot to say. It's not a topic that I discuss very often. So, there you go. Let's see. Jesse Nightingale asks, do you hang out with family often? Not really. As far as immediate family, I have a couple of sisters that live in Oklahoma. And that's really mostly it. I have, well, my brother's wife, she moved out of state. along with her kids. So I haven't seen them in years. And as far as extended family concerned, because, you know, that's the only even remotely close to immediate family that I have left. As far as extended family is concerned, I haven't seen anyone more distantly related than my brother and sisters since, sometime in the 1970s. So, basically, not very often, because most either live way far away, where I have no clue where they live even, or have passed on over the years. To my knowledge, I am currently the oldest living male in this family. You know, there could be others, there may well be others, but that I know about, I'm it. And that makes me the end of this branch of the family, because I have no kids. And while I suppose it's technically possible, the likelihood is very low. There is details that you need in order for that to happen, and no, that ain't gonna happen. Let's see, let me out of here, get the next question. Z Phoenix 27 asks, how long are you going to let the beard grow? Well, that's kind of like asking how long is forever. Okay, maybe not quite, but to my mind, it might as well be. The last time I shaved was in December of 2010, when the vlog channel first originally became a YouTube partner. And I stated then in the video where I did that shave, because somebody had asked me, when are you going to shave? And I said, I'll shave when YouTube makes me a partner. Well, the next week they did, and so I did, and I did it on video. And I said in that video that I would never voluntarily shave again, period. So how long will I grow the beard? As long as it can get just plain whatever, you know. Actually, I might trim it occasionally. I do ever so very occasionally do that. But will I ever stop growing it? Not voluntarily. You know, if I'm in a situation where it's necessary just to remove it, then I will do what's necessary for as long as it's necessary, and then I will stop as soon as I can get away with it, because it's a personal opinion, I know, but I personally think that I look better with the beard than I do without. I know that some people disagree with me on that, but, you know, it's a thing. My opinion of my appearance is the more important opinion. And that's where I'm going to leave that. Let's see. What else do we have going on up here? Question. When and how did you get into Minecraft? And how did you end up on the Hermitcraft server? As someone from the Netherlands, I loved the total time of this vid. Okay, whatever. How did I get into Minecraft? Okay. I've told this story a few times, and if I can find a link for it, I will even provide a link to show the video that got me into Minecraft. I'll put the link for it in the description. But when I started doing videos on YouTube, I was vlogging. And originally it was on the topic of weight loss. And then it eventually grew into yakking and yammering and expressing opinions and thoughts about bloody near anything. And along the way, I saw a video by a fellow vlogger who was in the same weight loss community thing at that time. And he had recently started up a new channel for gaming videos. And I took a look, and one of the early videos on there was him. He was playing this new game he had just discovered called Minecraft. And it was just, hey, this is cool. Within 2 days, I had bought Minecraft. Within 2 days, I had to buy it myself. And my single-player main world was made. I believe it was on the 24th of March, 2011, which was like a day or two after that video was uploaded. And, yeah, it was an adventure. And in a lot of ways, it still is an adventure. I have times, you know, like you do with any game where, you know, sometimes it runs kind of hot and cold, you know? Because, anybody needs a break from anything if you do it long enough. And, you know, but I still have that original world, my first Minecraft world, the first world, I think of it as now. I still have it. I have made over 350 episodes in that world. Oops, it's time to make boats. And it's also time to start looking for an overnight hidey hole thing. Yeah, let's see here. I'm thinking over there might just be a good shot. want to get caught out in the middle of a ocean or something when the sunset hits, because I want to be tucked away in my hidey hole before sunset actually hits. So yeah. Yeah, so I saw that original video, that video by well, at the time he was calling himself Olinsalot. Him and his wife and kids have gone through a number of channel names over the years, but they're still the same people. Good people, by the way. And their channels have grown significantly over the years as well. Let's see. So yeah, I will look that video up and link it in the description. Okay, yeah. Meanwhile, let's get a torch up here. Dig this out a little bit. Go back one more block. Torch here and there. Throw that out there. Okay. Drop the bed down here. And I don't even need to make more boats because I've already just done that. Oh, wait a minute. I do, however, need to make 3 more beds. I need to pick up wood next time. Come on. Okay. So, there we go. Reaching the end of another episode. Let's pick this up. This is the very first workbench I ever made in this world. And I think it's cool that I'm still using that one. Okay. Anyway, thanks for watching. Take it easy. I am out of here.